Rain drizzled against the wide glass windows of the diner, tracing slow tears across the cold surface. The morning light was gray and tired, filtering through clouds that hadn't decided whether to stay or move on. Inside, the low hum of conversation mixed with the soft clatter of forks on porcelain plates. And at a corner booth, a man with tattoos crawling up his arms, a biker jacket heavy with patches and metal, sat alone, staring into a steaming cup of coffee. His name patch read Red Dog. Across the diner, a young mother sat in silence with her daughter, a little girl no older than 5, her face half buried in her mother's sweater. The woman's hands were trembling slightly, not from cold, but from something deeper, exhaustion. She'd been holding herself together for too long. The waitress, a kind-eyed older woman, had just cleared a nearby table, setting down a plate filled with untouched food, half a burger, fries, and a few slices of toast. The mother's voice broke the low hum, soft, hesitant. "Excuse me," she said, glancing at the waitress. Can I take the leftovers from my daughter?" The entire diner seemed to freeze. Forks paused midair. Even the music from the jukebox faded into the background of the silence that followed. Before we continue, if you believe in real-life kindness, hope, and second chances, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Everyday Heroes, and share your thoughts in the comments below. The waitress blinked, surprised. "Oh, sweetheart," she said gently. "Of course you can. I'll wrap it up for you." But before she could move, Red Dog shifted in his seat. The leather of his jacket creaked as he turned. His eyes, blue, sharp, and world-worn, fixed on the woman and the small girl clinging to her arm. His plate was still full, eggs untouched, bacon still sizzling, toast glistening with butter. His hand tightened around his coffee cup for a second, and then he slowly set it down. He'd seen that look before. Not the hunger, but the pride behind it. The kind that made asking for help harder than starving. The diner lights cast soft reflections on the chrome edges of the table as he stood up, the weight of his boots heavy on the black and white tiles. Every eye followed him as he walked toward her. The woman looked up, startled, her shoulders tensing. The child pressed closer, frightened by the stranger's towering figure. He stopped in front of their booth, his voice rough but low. "You don't need to take leftovers." The woman's face flushed. "I wasn't asking for..." But before she could finish, he slid into the booth across from her and gestured to the waitress. "Can I get 2 kids' meals?" His tone was gentle now. "Make them to go." The waitress hesitated, glancing between them, then nodded and walked off quietly. The woman looked down, unable to meet his gaze. "You don't have to do that," she whispered. "We're fine." Red Dog let out a slow breath, his eyes softening. "You know," he said almost to himself, "my ma used to say that. We're fine, even when we weren't. Even when I was eating saltine crackers for dinner and pretending I wasn't hungry." He gave a small, broken laugh. "Took me years to realize she wasn't weak. She was strong as hell, stronger than anyone I knew." The woman's eyes welled up, the words cutting through the walls she'd built. The child peeked up at him, curious now instead of afraid. "Are you a pirate?" she asked in a small voice, pointing at his rings and tattoos. He smiled, a real smile this time, soft and human. "Something like that, kiddo. But I gave up stealing treasures a long time ago." The diner had gone silent again, but this time the silence wasn't heavy. It was reverent, gentle, as if the walls themselves understood what was happening. The waitress returned with 2 small paper bags and placed them on the table. "Here you go," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Extra fries in there, on the house." Red Dog stood, pulled out his wallet, and laid a few bills on the table, enough to pay for 10 meals. "Keep the change," he said quietly. The woman tried to protest again, but he shook his head. "Don't thank me, just pay it forward someday. Somebody helped me once, I'm just doing my part." He started to leave, but the little girl slipped out of the booth, running after him. She tugged at his leather vest. "Mr. Pirate," she said shyly, "you forgot your treasure." He turned. She held out a small, crumpled napkin with something drawn in pencil, a wobbly heart with 3 stick figures inside it. He stared at it for a long moment before taking it carefully, like it was made of glass. His throat tightened, and he gave a slow nod. You keep being brave for your mom, okay? She smiled, and he ruffled her hair before walking out into the gray rain, his boots echoing on the wet pavement. Back inside, the mother sat in stunned silence, tears streaming down her face as she held her daughter close. Outside the window, Red Dog paused by his motorcycle, looking at the napkin once more. He folded it gently and tucked it inside his vest pocket, right over his heart. The diner, once full of strangers, felt different now, warmer somehow, as if the small act of kindness had lit a fire no rain could ever put out. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes, where real stories remind us that compassion still exists.